Imagine that you could do your literature review with just one click of a button, just like this, and get insights in one paragraph from the top most cited papers that basically summarize what the literature review is about, and then get insights on the individual papers in terms of the conclusions, the results, the methods that they use, so that reading papers and putting together a literature review doesn't have to take months or weeks. You can literally do it with one click of a button, just like this. Well, this is SciSpace, an AI tool for really speeding up and doing a literature review more accurately in much less time, which I want to introduce to you right now. So, as it says here, you can do hours of reading in just minutes. And the way it works is pretty simple. What you want to do is start by putting in the question that that you're currently working on in terms of your literature review. So one of the questions that I was working on for a recent paper was this: how can a lingua franca co-pronunciation syllabus be designed to be effective? And as you can see, this will suggest searches for you, and the more you use it, the more relevant searches is going to suggest to you. So I'm just going to click on this, and then as you see, immediately I'm going to get a summary from, in this case, top 5 papers. And the great thing about it is that it's a one paragraph summary. So if you're new to the topic, you can get an idea straight away, kind of what is the answer to the question that you have in mind, that you're looking for, right? And a really good thing about it as well is that it's got actual references. So for example, ChatGPT is well known for inventing references and just like giving you references that don't actually exist. And it's got a funny name in research. Researchers have actually studied ChatGPT doing this, and it's called hallucination. So ChatGPT is hallucinating and giving you wrong references. SciSpace isn't. SciSpace gives you actual references with links to those papers so you can open them and continue reading. But just to start, you can get a summary of the whole topic in here in one paragraph. So imagine how awesome this is. Like, you're looking to to understand a specific concept, a specific theme in the literature. You ask SciSpace a question, and in like 5 seconds, in one paragraph, you get a summary of that. Like, normally this would take you weeks or days of like constant reading and kind of synthesizing all that information yourself. You've got it here at your fingertips instantly. So I think this is pretty awesome. And if you're already wondering, like, how do I sign up on SciSpace, I'll explain that in a little bit, how to set up your account, but there's a link in the description of this video to join SciSpace. SciSpace is completely free to get started. It's got its limitations, the free version, but I recommend that you start with the free one. And then if you want to use the paid subscription, there are coupon codes and links in the description that will give you a 20 or a 40% discount, whether you go for a monthly or an annual subscription. But I'll talk about that in just a second. So what else does it give you immediately? As you can see here, you get papers, right? That are, there's a table with different kind of main topics for each of those 10 papers that SciSpace found on this specific topic, right? So you get insights, you get conclusions, the methods, the limitations, okay, practical implications, right? So again, think how awesome this is. Like, you're browsing through papers and you need to know what methodology they use, because you're writing part of your thesis or maybe in a paper and you want to critique the previously used methodology. Well, you've got it all in here, summarized for you in bullet points, right? It really speeds up your reading, And then the cool thing as well is that you can add columns in here. So let's say I'm really interested in the results of that specific paper. So I can click here, and then SciSpace is going to give me a column with the results, right? It just put it here, okay? And again, it's like 2 or 3 bullet points with the key results of that paper. Now, of course, I think we do need to go in and read the paper to, to expand on those results, to really understand in more depth what's happening. But this gives you a fantastic summary. You'll basically know whether the paper is relevant for reading. If it's not, how it's going to fit in your whole literature review, because you get bullet points summaries of each part of the paper. But you definitely want to go and read that paper in a little bit more detail, right? So you can toggle the columns in here, and you can also add your own column. So you can type the column in here, like, you could say, for example, sample, right? If you were really interested, like who they studied or what specifically studied. Or you could also talk about suggestions for future research. So I already created my column. So I'm just going to click on this here, okay? And then it's going to add it for me right here. And then I'll have bullet points in here for suggestions for future research. So I think this is fantastic, because again, imagine like you're trying to find a research gap and you're looking for the research gap. Well, the best place to find it is to look at the limitations of previous research, to look at suggestions for future research, and so on. So you've got this here at your fingertips. So in a second, I'm going to also show you how you can save all these papers that SciSpace is giving you. I'm going to show you as well how you can chat with those documents to basically use AI to get more in-depth insights from the papers and get recommendations of further papers that you need to be reading. But before we do that, let's just very quickly talk about SciSpace plans that they've got, right? So there is a free plan. And I would definitely recommend to start with the free plan. And the link to sign up for SciSpace for free is just below this video in the description. So you can do that. And then, if you want to do a researcher plan, it's just $8 a month. So I really think it's worth it. It's probably less than you spend on coffee a week. And also, if you use the Academic English Now coupon code, or just follow the link in the description, you're going to get a further 40% discount on the yearly plan to SciSpace. So I think it's really cheap, and it's going to give you basically unlimited everything, right? So with the basic one, you're going to run into some limitations if you continue using it a lot, but to get started, I definitely recommend the free one, so that you can you can test it out and see if it works for you. So now back to SciSpace. So an awesome thing that I think is that SciSpace can do for you is this Ask Copilot, right? So what you can basically do is you can start, or let's just open this this paper in here, okay, in a new window, and we're gonna ask Copilot. Okay, so we're going to basically chat with this whole paper, okay, and get insights from it. Okay, so it already gives you the basic prompts that you can use. So for example, we can talk about the dataset used and see what dataset they've used. All right, and then you get a very nice summary in here. And then, you can ask some follow-up questions, right? Well, what were the 4 types of flaps? What were participants' language backgrounds and things like that? So it's suggesting kind of more in-depth questions as you go and as you chat with the document. But the whole point is that, you can quickly get answers to your questions. Again, things that would take you hours, because you'd have to like read the whole paper in a lot of detail just because you're looking for one specific thing, like how many participants took part in the study, like can be done like this, and you can find that information straight away. And of course you can, and you probably need to check that against the paper, so that to read a little bit more in the context. But I think this just speeds up your writing your reading so much, it's not even funny. And you can see here I've got this high quality. So if you sign up on the paid plan with SciSpace, you can get either standard or high quality answers. And the high quality ones are definitely better for sort of like more in-depth explanation of things. But the basic one works pretty well, the standard one. Okay. What you can also do is provide SciSpace with feedback. So it kind of learns with your feedback. So you can give it a thumbs up, right? And you can also write quick feedback. So I do that, like, let's say I'm not satisfied with the answer I got because maybe it's too short, maybe it's inaccurate. You can just give SciSpace feedback, and the model is going to continue learning and continue improving, right? And of course, you can write your own question just in here as well, rather than use the predefined questions suggested by SciSpace in here. Now, another great feature of this is saving things to notebook, right? So when you're reading things, the problem usually is that you've read so much and you've got notes on the paper, on the PDF itself. You're highlighting things, you're putting notes there, you're putting comments. You've got pieces of paper flying around, you've got notes somewhere in a Word document or in a Google Doc, and it's like all different places, and it gets really messy. Now, SciSpace solves that because there's one central place where you can take notes on things. So of course you can save it to notebook like this in here, okay, and then it's added to the notebook. All those notes are added, okay, and then you've got dates as well, right? So your previous searches will be saved in here, and I'll talk a little bit more about the note taking in just a second, okay. But let's get back to the paper. So we talked about chatting, basically chatting the paper, right? You can get an explanation of the abstract in 2 sentences and so on. Now, what it will also do is very quickly give you related papers. So I think this is fantastic when you're doing a literature review, because you've read one paper and you want more information on a specific topic. Well, this gives you related papers, and those papers are usually very relevant to what you've got here. There's my paper as well. So thank you, SciSpace, for recommending my paper as well. And so you can, and then you've got all the papers in here as you go, right? So I really like it because it's just one neat interface when I'm just like moving through papers and getting more recommendations for them. I don't have to have 50 windows with 50 different texts open. It's all right here in one nice window like this. And you can also sort these related papers. In here we just got 8, so it's not a big deal, but sometimes you get 50, 60, so you can sort them by citation count, which I think is really cool because it gives you that ability to maybe focus on the most cited papers, which usually talks about the quality of the paper, newest first and so on. And you also have other filters, right? Let's say you're looking for a specific author in here, and it's already pulling up the authors from here, so you could like zoom in on a specific person, like me, for example. Thanks, SciSpace, for recommending me. And then specific topics as well that are covered in here, like subtopics and niches and so on. And I think this is like the interface here is very easy to navigate, and go through. What you also get is the list of references as well straight away in here, and which again can be sorted in various ways that I've just shown you before. And again, this is great because it saves you time. You can just click on that reference that you're interested in, and it's going to open that paper straight away for you. So you no longer have to just like type in that reference to another search engine or copy and paste it and search the database and then retrieve that paper. You just get it done in here straight away, which I think is really awesome. And what you also get is related topics. So as you're doing the literature review, you will come across other topics that might be relevant to what you're doing, right? So for example, I'm being very specific in here with my search, but I might need to talk about the broader topic in my literature review, which would be pronunciation. So if I come into this topic in here, I'm going to get, for example, 17K papers in here in terms of what SciSpace brings here. So now I really need to sort them, right, by maybe citation count and see what I get, or newest first actually, and start with reading the newest papers. Now, so we've talked about how SciSpace can really speed up your reading. Remember, it just gives you insights and summaries of papers like immediately. We also talked about how you can chat with PDF documents to, to get more insights and more in-depth insights. And we talked about how it can speed up your search. But that's not everything. You also have this awesome feature here of the notebook, which is currently in beta, but is really good. So what you want to do first up is you want to create notebooks. And what I recommend doing is that you create notebooks on themes, right? So when you're doing your literature review, you'll have different themes, different kind of big categories of topics, right? And that's how you want to kind of organize those notebooks. So don't have one notebook for one specific paper, right? Have it more by topics and subtopics. And then once we have a notebook and we go into reading a paper, we're going to be saving all our notes in one notebook. And this includes the answers that AI gives us, our notes, explanations, summaries, and all this will be linked up so you can easily search it and retrieve your notes. Because often the problem is that you've got like all sorts of papers printed out flying around, you've got 50 PDFs open, and you've got like comments on the PDFs, your notes somewhere, and it's just really difficult to like combine everything to write your literature review, right? So if we go to Copilot Read with AI, and we open one of the papers that I've got in here, there's like lots of cool things that that you can do. One of the really amazing things that I think it can do for you is to explain stuff to you. So if you select the text, like let's say you're reading this passage and you're not understanding it, and you click on explain text, Copilot is going to give you an explanation of what this text contains. So this is great for just getting a quick explanation, summary, key information from a particular passage. And I think we've all been in a situation where we're reading a paper and we just can't understand what they're talking about, right? So this is a great feature. Another great feature is to get a summary. Okay, so again, you select a longer passage and you just want to extract the key information, or you want a shorter summary of it to save in your notes, right? Because you don't want to be saving like whole pages, right? This wouldn't be good. And of course, you can ask additional questions and then save everything to your notebook just in here. Okay, and you can follow it up with an additional question, right, that you can just type in here. Another thing that it can do for you, if you have technical papers, with statistics, equations, tables, and you're looking at that particular table and you're like, what is this, right? What's going on in this table? Like, there's just so many numbers and so many different things. If you click on math in here, and then you just select a table, okay, what it's going to do for you is it's going to give you explanation of what's in the table. If I had selected an equation here, it will also give me an explanation of this equation, which again I think is awesome for all those of us who are perhaps less quantitatively and statistically minded, and we need a little bit more of an explanation and walkthrough of what these statistics actually mean. I think that's super useful. And again, all this can be saved to your notebook, and then if you go here, it will pop up here, and then it will retrieve your notes saved on that particular topic that you've got right here. So overall, I think this is a fantastic AI tool that can really speed up how you read papers, can give you insights from top papers, bullet points, summaries of different sections of the papers. You can chat with the PDF using AI to get insights, additional insights. It can explain equations and maths for you, give you related papers, and really speed up the entire literature review for you. And if you want to use SciSpace, the link to sign up is below, and you get 40% discount if you use the link below. And if you need our personalized help to not only write a really good literature review, but also write research papers for top journals in your field, then book a free, no-nonsense, one-to-one consultation with our team, and one of our expert advisors will get back to you, jump on a Zoom call with you, and discuss what your main challenges are, what your goals are, to see if and how Academic English Now might be able to help you.